Guys, this can get far worse than you may have imagined. This is beyond the pale. And I'm going to explain to you in a minute why this has ramifications you may not have considered. I'm going to show you some things related to the now expired, but still somewhat operated on principles of the Patriot Act, which we may see coming back as a result of these things here. This time, not aimed at those outside the country, but to maybe half the population inside this country, because the great divider has spoken, or so it seems. He has spoken, and he spoke with fury. And look at this, guys, the whole optics of it are horrible. Look at of course, the blood red. Yeah, CNN tried to tone this down and made the red look pink. The military behind him, the shadows, and the fist, the manner of the speech. Holy smoke, guys, it looks like this. And sounds a lot like it. Great divider singling out another group of people within their country to demonize and go after. Not only that, he's called on his own minions and people to take matters into their own hands. Yes, it does kind of make you think of this, right? Or how about this? Is this what he's inciting when he's asking people to take matters into their own hands, just like a couple of years ago, the riots of the summer? Holy smoke, guys, what are we in for? Well, I'm going to talk about it some more, but who would they be targeted? Well, who did he target, and who are considered the bad people here in these examples? Look at this, guys. If you've got a Betsy Ross flag, if you've got a Gadsden flag, a lot of you have symbols like these in your IDs and, on YouTube and Facebook, you wear rings like this. If you care about parts of your Constitution, if you even talk about the Constitution, you might be considered a militia violent extremist. Wow. Guys, how do we get here? But if you do this, hey, you're okay. If you destroy the livelihoods of families and people that worked all their life to build a business and just burn it down in whole towns and cities and desecrate the flag, hey, the media will give you a pat on the back. The news media love these people. They congratulate them and pat them on the back. They're okay. But if you have some of this symbology, if you're into the Gadsden flag, the Betsy Ross flag, talking about the Revolutionary War, using the images there from the Constitution, citing the Constitution, yeah, you might be in big trouble, because the FBI and the entire federal government seems to be weaponized, and it is leaning very much in one side, in one direction. I mean, gosh, guys, they're not going after Ghislaine Maxwell's little book, have they? No. Who are they going after? Guys, this is why you better consider right now prepping. This is Greg Allison, Green Greg's. Right now, you better prep for what's coming. And I got a special. I don't know how they're still doing it, but they still got this $250 off the 3-month special. And it may look high, but this is 3 months, guys. 3 months of 2,000 calories a day. It'll keep hunger away. And you won't go to the grocery store for 2 weeks without getting out for that these days. And food's going way up in prices real fast. This stuff lasts for 25 years. I'd consider this an investment, guys, an investment. And holy smoke, you can bug out with it. So go to prepwithgreg.com and check that out. All right, let's go on. Guys, and they refer to people on the other side, I mean, these people as being fascist. But look at what fascism is. It's characterized by dictatorial leader, centralized autocracy. Well, the people I stand with don't like centralized autocracy. We don't want things to be dictated by the government. We want things to be handled by the people. What did Ronald Reagan tell us? He taught us the government governs the least is the government that governs best. And, put it down to the lowest level possible. And these are the kind of things that Thomas Jefferson taught us. Oh, yeah. Oops. I cited a founding father. Oh, my gosh. They may be beating my door down here in a minute. Anyway, now, yeah, this is the kind of things militialism or militarism. Well, guys, look back up here. Militarism. Why did he have the Marine Corps behind him using the military in a political speech? Oh, yeah, I showed that banner. It fits a lot in the minds of many people. Guys, check it out. Oh, yeah, the colors. They also fit, don't they? The colors do fit with that banner. Dark and red, dark and red. Yeah, Oh, well, I don't know, guys. I'm not saying that is the case, but holy smoke, guys, it's got appearances. It's definitely got the appearances. So, guys, I really just say we got to think about this. Where are we going as a nation? When this is okay, you got to realize some of the people that walked through the Capitol on the January the 6th were invited in by the guards, and the vast majority of them walked through the ropes the whole way through. They didn't even go outside the ropes. I've seen the video of it. It's just a few bad apples, and you get a crowd that big, you're going to have a few bad apples. A few bad apples went a little bit outside, but they didn't do this in the Capitol. Did the Capitol burn down? No, did not burn down. Was anybody actually hurt? No. There have been people badly injured and beaten in these events here, but that's okay. That was not violence. So I don't know, guys. I don't condone violence in any shape, form, or fashion on either side, guys. And I don't condone, I think a civil war would be the worst thing we could ever get into. We need to find peace and stability through this. But the great divider is up here shaking his fist, is not helping us get there. That's my point. He is not helping us get to peace. And I think there's an agenda. And I'm going to go into that in a little bit. I think there's an agenda here, guys. And that's what scares me more than anything. But here's what happened, in pre-war Germany. I've taken this from an article from an individual written by a guy named Benjamin McCarthy. I've taken a couple excerpts out of an article he wrote. He said, before the Holocaust began, the Nazi government of Germany began their persecution of the Jews when they took power. Yeah. And here's the key part. The Nazis eroded the place of the Jews in German society with prohibitive laws, boycotts, and then talked about the anti-Jewish violence and a lot of other stuff after that. But they start dehumanizing the people they want to go after. They cut them down. They trivialize them. This has been going on in our society from the left, the side who says they're inclusive and against hate. Attacking people that wear a red hat. It says MAGA on it. Yeah, they will attack them, run them out of restaurants. And then it goes, the Nazi regime had completely alienated the Jewish population, taking away their rights and citizenship. And then they were beginning to put them in concentration camps, taking away their rights and citizenship. There are rights and challenge. What happens when we speak out on social media? Oh, yeah, it's just come out that Zuckerberg was collaborating with who? The FBI. The FBI was telling them that, you're going to get stories that comes from Russia. It's part of the Russian collusion. And this thing with Hunter Biden all pertain to that. Yeah, right. But, so everything that came out on it on social media was deemed fake. Our fact checkers have determined, because our fact checkers have got strings on them, and the puppet masters are up in the FBI and the CIA and other agencies, right? Guys, we got to remember this. You think they can't come after you? Remember the Patriot Act? The Patriot Act suspended all kinds of rights, including, habeas corpus, your right to know what you're charged for, and, which is important. So how can you defend yourself from a charge if you don't even know what you're charged for? And apparently, even though this act is now expired, I'm told by lawyer sources of mine that this is happening to people who are charged under the events of January the 6th. So I don't know, guys, but this is what I'm told. This is what some sources are telling me, that these people's civil rights have been suspended. And this has happened before, and the suspension of these civil rights can go a long way. And who knows, they may enact a new Patriot Act if things go a little bit sour in this country due to the incitements for stuff like this. The incitements for people to act and take things in their own hand may provoke these kind of actions by those very people, and it may provoke some counteractions by some people. I did not condone that. I did not condone any of that kind of stuff, guys. I'm just saying you got to be ready for this stuff to happen. You got to be prepared, and just you don't know who they're going to come after. Look at this, guys. Now, this guy was apparently a terrorist, but unfortunately, he was also an American citizen, and he was not given the due process of law. And what did his party accuse what did Biden accuse the Trump favoring Republicans of being? People that don't favor the order of law. This was, he was vice president when this occurred, guys. He was in on this. This was something that was condoned and done by the Obama administration. They went after this guy. This is in Wikipedia, guys. Anwar al-Awlaki. He was a Yemen American imam. He was an American citizen, but he was taken out. He was taken out. Yeah, he was born in the United States. This guy wasn't just a, somebody that came over and got American citizenship. He was born in Las Cruces. Man, I've been in Las Cruces many times. I love that city. He was born in Las Cruces, New Mexico. An American-born American. But he had his civil liberties suspended by the Patriot Act, and he became the first U.S. citizen to be targeted. Now, I'm quoting Wikipedia. I don't like using these words on this channel. I hope I don't get a hit from it, but I'm just quoting Wikipedia. Al-Awlaki became the first U.S. citizen to be targeted and killed by a drone strike from the U.S. government. There was no trial, which is required by law here. There's no trial, no jury. This is what an American citizen is supposed to get, a trial by jury. That's the law. He got none of that because we passed some act. And that was thought that it was going to be applied to foreign terrorists who weren't American citizens. This guy was a citizen, and they applied this to him. Civil liberties advocates have decried the incident as extrajudicial execution that breached al-Awlaki's constitutional right to due process, including a trial. Guys, okay. So, okay, they got a bad guy. They got a terrorist. Well, he probably was a bad guy. I don't know that he actually committed anything, but he probably incited things because of what his teachings were. But he still should have gotten a trial because he was an American citizen. So here's the thing. It might be a terrorist one day, but the next day it might not be. It might be you. How do you know how this is going to extend, especially when the nation's being divided as it's been divided today? This is what scares me, guys. This right here. But it didn't stop there. No. They didn't just get Anwar al-Awlaki. Now pay attention. This happened to him on September the 30th, 2011. Okay, how about, yeah, this is, hang on, guys. I think I'm missing a chart or two. Yeah, they don't care where you look what. Uh-oh, I am missing a chart or two in here. Well, they got his son. I'm going to have to go to Wikipedia and show you this, guys. They got his son after this. And then they got his daughter on separate days. His son was a teenager. His daughter was 8 years old. I thought I had them in this chart, but apparently I pasted over them when I put this in. All right, guys. So, yeah, what is this? What can they do? Can they come for you? Do they really even care if you're on the left or right in the end, as long as the controllers are in control? Yeah. They want us to be puppets. And who's the ultimate puppet masters? So they're setting us up for that set that's not so great a read. I'm trying to use some code words here, my dear Lord Schwab, if you know what I'm talking about. Guys, think about this. You know what they want to take from you? Your abilities to defend yourselves. What's this that Biden was talking about? Oh, well, yeah, you can't defend yourself against an F-15. Come on, man. What are you talking about? Come on, man. Are you kidding me? We might have had F-15s in Afghanistan, but the locals sure ran American forces out, didn't they? What about Vietnam? Guys, it matters that you can be able to take care of yourself. The government will take care of you. Yep, that's what's been told to lots of people. But that was told to the Jews too, right? And what happened in Germany before all these things went down? They took up people's guns. What happened in Russia before they killed 20 million of their own people? They took their guns. What happened in China before they killed 60 to 80 million of their own people? Took up their guns, of course. Guys, they got an agenda. And this agenda, this is a guy with a syringe. I'm kind of messed this graphic up. I meant to take this out. That was a minute. Intended for the next one. They're coming after, they want to turn us into transhuman. Now, I got some friends who are transhumanists because they think, they're looking forward to a longer life expectancy. But I think some of the powers that be got designs on control to combine your DNA with machines. I mean, this is already happening, that DNA has been modified in a lot of people by the power of the, what. So, really and truly, it's about control in the end. They want to control. If you're permitted to be alive, if you're permitted to live in their new system, they want to have complete control over you. Total control. That's why they want to take away your money. That's why they want to give you a digital currency, the central bank digital currency, CBDC. That's why they want to do that, because they can pull it away from you if your social credit score and your actions go against anything that doesn't lick their boots. And you probably won't even be really human if they get their full way with you, because the more control they can put on you, the more they can turn you into a robot, the better they like it. A mind-numbed robot, no less. That's what they want. A robot. Mind-numbed robot. A total puppet that they can put out for whatever use. Be their soldier, whatever. Well, even though you'll be like an ant. That's what they would really like if they could do that. It seems. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, guys. I really do. But you know, guys, when you look at the trend of things, it ain't looking good. The trends don't look good. I've talked about this before. Now, how are we getting here? I mean, if you look at the division that's being incited by the current great divider, he ran to be the great unifier. You know, here's how the election broke out of the official count that supposedly put him over the top and put him in the White House. I know that language is going to make a lot of people mad. Was Texas the biggest state in the union? Well, actually, Alaska is. Alaska is split in the two states. Texas will be the third largest state. But look at this, guys. We got some big states that in the whole middle section of the nation, which is huge, looks pretty small on this map. Why? What is it? It's the urban centers. These states were in dispute, okay? These divided hash line states up until the end. And that's part of the controversy of the whole thing. But see, guys, look at this, guys. These states are where the election was determined according to the books. Whatever your notion is about that, but let's put it in another perspective. Right here. This is the counties that voted for Joe Biden and the counties that voted for Donald Trump. There were only less than 500 counties won by Joe Biden, where Trump won 2,400. But the wealth disparity between these counties is huge. This is a relative GDP of one set versus the other. Now, you might think, well, these guys are destined to win, blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm going to tell you what. What's this GDP based on? It's urban real estate. It's the main economy, which is way inflated in price. It is a value based on industries, which are chiefly banking and stock markets and speculation and financial matters and insurance. And, you know, this isn't good tangible goods. And the good tangible goods come from this part of the country. The food, the water, the resources, even most of the manufacturing is coming from these states. Everything that's tangible, everything that has true value is coming from here. So this is a bubble. This is an overinflated perspective, as is the overinflated notion of these people that they can totally dominate these people. Because in the end, they really can. I've talked about this in previous video. If we don't need a civil war, but there is one, the blue states lose. This is kind of what the country really looks like. We're divided principally by a left coast, and there's pockets of conservatism and pockets in here, and there's pockets of liberalism like Chicago and here in St. Louis. But you know, when India was divided, it was divided into India in the middle, and they had East Pakistan on the east and West Pakistan on the left. So I thought, well, this is kind of fitting. They're talking about treating us all like we're Indians. At least us deplorables in flyover land. See, flyover land is pretty huge, but the actual area these guys dominate is not. So I have in a previous video denoted this as East Wokistan and West Wokistan. I think it kind of fits. And it's all Indians in the middle. We're all Indians now, guys. So, you know, just like the Indians that got put on a reservation, that's kind of how they look at us. They don't look at us any better than they looked at the American Indians that were driven from their lands and put on a reservation. You know, we may be on the same reservations with them if we're lucky, but I don't think so. Here's the weakness of the cities. Cities don't produce their own food, their own water, or their own anything. It's all got to be sent in. And it's all sent in through long distributed networks with centralized nodes, which is a terribly weak system. This is the power grid part of it. You see these nodes where the cities are? Well, there's actually little individual nodes within that, which are highly vulnerable. Now, I don't advocate anybody taking down the power grid, because if you do, you might set off all the nuke plants. We might all cook and roast. So you know, we don't need people going out there mindlessly doing things just to take down the cities. There's other ways. There's water lines. There's you cut off the city's water, and they're going to be in big trouble. The fuel, the transportation, the bridges, the communications. It's all wired up kind of like the power grid, because the centralized sections of the cities are like, you know, Rome. The many roads lead into them through many ways, roads of wire and copper and fiber optics, and there's bridges leading in and leading out. Guys, without this, the cities can't survive. They cannot even survive. So they're in actually a terrible position if they wanted to declare a war on us. They're in a terrible, terrible position. It just don't occur to them. Of course, they got their F-15s, but, you know, little groups sneaking around in guerrilla warfare, they're not even going to see them. That's why the Afghans ran the United States out of Afghanistan, and the Viet Cong won the Vietnam War. That didn't have to happen if there was enough will. I suppose America could have dominated, but it would have been an ugly affair, guys. But this is all the ugly affair. I'm not advocating. Let me be clear. I do not advocate war. And if you know my channel, you know me better than that. But I do advocate you being prepared in case the worst comes to pass. And that's what we're talking about. And I'm hoping this don't come to pass. I'm not saying it will. But if you think that there's going to be a red wave in you know, a couple of months, it's going to readjust the Congress, I don't know, guys. You know, everybody said Trump was going to win too. There was no way Biden was going to win. Some folks are indicating that this is going to go in a different direction than what a lot of people think. I don't know, guys. You have to think about it. Now, I don't like siding necessarily with one party or another, but guys, when one party demonstrably wants to take my rights to arm bears, if you know what I mean, they want to take this from me consistently, and that's what they talk about constantly. I got a problem with them. And if there's a Republican on that side, I got a problem with him too, because I believe in my rights, guys. You know, we're under siege right now. We're about to be. It's time to form our survival tribe networks. It's time to form up people. You can't make us a lone survivor. Go to survivaltribenetwork.com. Guys, this is vital. You need to go here and start forming groups. Don't go in here and give your personal name and everything. Create a handle, you know, like the CB radio guys got, you know, create a stage name. And, you know, you're not giving your exact address, just your city. That's pretty vague, guys. So we're just trying to determine who's in areas so that like people in various areas can organize with people that they identify with. Of course, I tell you to vet each other out very carefully. It's kind of like getting married. This is very vital, though. So we need to get this going. Join survivaltribenetwork.com. Also, how do we stop the madness? How do we stop the division? How do we stop the, you know, what the FBI is talking about is, and their militia violent extremists mainly, it's if you're advocating violence to do things. Well, don't do that. There's still a lot of room in the ballot box, and by pinging on our congressional critters that we need to exercise before anybody considers anything else. And I only talk about the other thing. It's a matter, you got the right to defend yourself, you know. So I definitely believe in that. Self-defense, defend yourself, defend your family more than anything. Guys, if you go to this website and you click on the Action Center, it tells you how, freedomrestorationfoundation.org, how to contact your Congress critters. And we put action alerts on here. It tells you what to say, how to email them, call them, all kind of stuff, guys. And join our group on Facebook, by the way. You'll see more alerts and activity there. Okay, here's another thing that we need to consider. I've interviewed James Rogowski before on my channel. I'll probably bring them back in. They got an action going right now that's we need to act on real fast to stop this thing going on here with the who are you? You know what I mean? Guys, we need to take action. All right. Hey, and you can do me a favor, go to greenregs.com. And there's a lot of good stuff here. There's the video, there's the how to raise worms, but especially go to the videos, the vermiculture videos. It's all in the order telling you what to do to raise worms. There's gardening videos that talk about how to prep your raised beds, you know, where you don't need fertilizer and all that stuff. Talks about aquaponics and even microgreens, wild edibles and medicinals. If it hits the fan, you know, some people criticize, oh, Greg, you're always showing all this buckets of food. Dude, this stuff's free right here. And I got tons of videos on this stuff. It's free. You just got to go out and get it. And I've showed you what's out there to go get. So, but it might be shy. You'll be shy on probably protein unless you're trapping and are good at it. You'll be shy on proteins and carbs. So check it out, guys. You can discover about my farm. But mainly of all, hey, I'm selling worms again. I need to take this note off here. I'm selling worms again. So click to buy worms. If you guys, you won't have to have any fertilizer if you do that. But, you know, finally, final thought here, guys. Remember, never surrender. All right, guys. With that, I'm going to say we got a lot coming at us. The deep state. Let's talk about that just a minute. The deep state. Kind of refer to them as the Deep State Stasi because of the way they're acting. They have obviously leaned hard over on the political left. So they're letting people on the left side skate with anything in the world. They hide and cover up stuff going on their side, with the Biden stuff, with the things that went on with Hillary's emails. Now that's swept under the rug. That's okay. They can do anything they want. But these guys over here will go after them, go after them, go after them. And there's a reason for that, though. Let me explain it. Because the people over here, most Americans are getting tired of this big onerous government. It's too big. We're paying taxes out the nose, and all they're doing is taking our freedoms and harassing us. Things that we, you know, our founding fathers never. Oh yeah. Oh my God, I said that word. Oh wow. So you know, see, that's just it right there. Why should I have to worry about that? Why should I have to worry? Why the platforms and social media give people grief over things like that? Guys, we've got to consider that when you're talking about taking down the deep state, which that's them, that's their jobs. So you're talking about taking them out of their jobs. But they're not going to take it lying down. That's why, in part, at least a lot of the people in these organizations are highly motivated to come back on these guys. Now, I'm not even saying the leadership on this side is really and genuine where they're headed, but the people who are putting these people in, the American public, a lot of us have said, it's got to change. This is awful. Got to change. You're trying to take away all my rights, and you're charging me for doing it. Yeah, you're taxing me to attack me. Tax to attack. That's worse than what King George did, for Pete's sake. Oops. I go again. I can't help it. I better really watch it. I may not have a platform. So guys, I gotta be careful here, really. But you know what I mean. You know where I'm coming from. So listen. It goes further. I think. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But there's those the bankster kind. And a lot of the corporate elite have all kind of ganged together and have been cooperating through this organization that's headed by Lord Schwab, if you know what I mean. The Economic Forum, which is very worldly, but it's not represented by the people of the world. They care more. They tell you that you shouldn't drive your car. You need to stay at home. We're going to cut down what energy you can use. As these guys are flying jets all over the place. You know, they had 20 or something, I don't know, scads of personal, not even, they weren't even going in passenger jets. You know, they were flying their private jets into Davos. And what's more, I even heard that one of these guys, because he don't want his ride to be bumpy, has two jets. Yeah, one of the guys telling you how to live, Actually makes another jet fly in front of his jet to break up the air turbulence so he don't get jostled around. Yeah. He's going to tell you how to live. A lot of people resent that very much. Now, hey, maybe the environment does need some relief. If it does, if that's the case, I got the perfect solution. My universal habitats. But it's a solution that leads to freedom and choice, not control. So maybe they ain't gonna like that because all their solutions ain't got nothing to do about helping the environment. Their solutions ain't really about that. It's about control. Because that's their main objective is to control you. Why? So you won't knock them out of their position. That's why. They want to control you entirely. And the more controls they can put on you, the better. Have you ever noticed that the countries that lean more to the left side of the spectrum were more controlling and shutdowns? Look at China. Oh my God, talk about shutdowns. You know, when about the C word, you know, the bug. Think about it. Here in Alabama, we've been real lax on these, and we survived. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we've lost a few people, but we got an economy. We're surviving. You look at the people over there. It's rough. It's rough. I feel for the people of China. But those are the people that stood by when their country got starved, 80 million people by Mao Zedong, and then they analyzed them. Wow, yeah, guys. You know, some of us, you know, some people are, well, it's over. The CCP will fall. I don't know, guys. I don't know. They got a lot of control over the people. They're deep in the hive now. Proposition of my channel is to help you survive, thrive, and stay out of the hive. And the hive is trying to get us all, it seems. Hope I'm wrong. And what you think below in the comments. If you see it different, if you see something I don't see, trot it out. Put it out in the comments. Guys, but you know, I say this. We just shouldn't take it laying down. We got peaceful means that we can exercise right now, still available to us to work it. Go to freedomrestorationfoundation.org, join the Freedom Restoration group in Facebook, while it's still there. We got a MeWe site in case that's taken down, which is another social media outlet. So let's do what we can, guys. But first, you know, and let's try to get our grid hardened so that, you know, we're looking at war. We got a big sunspot on the other side of the sun that's acting crazy. Guys, we're in some crazy times. This is like biblical, purely biblical in proportion to what's going on. Prepare, get ready. Share my videos with your friends and family so they'll know that we are in a serious kimchi. Man, I actually like kimchi. It's Korean rotten cabbage. It's real spicy. It actually tastes great. Say rotten loosely, but you know, it's cured, well cured. Okay, guys, sorry to pick on kimchi. It's actually it's a great food. I love it. Remember this too. There's good people of every race, color, creed. Well, there's a lot of good Democrats. They just don't know any better. You know, of course, they'd say the same about us. But you know, guys, I'm more of a libertarian. I've said that many times. I'm more of a libertarian, but I can't, in my conscience, vote for a party that's coming at us and trying to take my liberties to protect myself. When they passed nugs out in Fast and Furious and the administration before last, of which our current POTUS was a VP, to Mexico, then try to blame it on us. But you know, and when they get a well-armed Afghanistan, and when you know the stuff they're pulling, you know, and then they want to take ours. Of course, Xi Jinping talks about that too. He thinks we got too much bang bangs here, and he talks about it. Why's it any of his business? Oh yeah, he don't want something behind every blade of grass in this country. Oh well, guys, I've ranted enough. I've said enough, guys. You get the gist. We're in deep kimchi. It can get a lot worse. It's like the Great Divider is trying to incite a civil war, perhaps, especially when he's inciting his people to take matters into their own hand. And we did this once before, and the media loved it. Oh my gosh, they just loved it. So what did all those store owners invest their lives in those stores. And what did they do to deserve their livelihood smashed? They weren't there, you know, with that cop that did what happened with Floyd. And Floyd was a somewhat less than the most, you know, honorable citizen in the world, if you know what I mean. Guys, I do not support racism. I'm very much against racism. I've got a multiracial family. I'm not for racism. I may be white as, look, guys, I'm as white as they come. My blood is mostly Viking, but I do not support racism. But I do not support wanton violence. You got to defend yourselves. It may be coming at us. And if they put a war upon us, they ain't going to win. That I'll tell you. So, and hey, put it out there. They ought to know it, so maybe they won't do it. They really wake up. I don't mind telling them they can't win. They just can't win. So they need not try. But you know, I feel like it's coming from them, not the other way around as they accuse it. That's my general impression. Now, I'm sure a lot of them will think I'm wrong, and they're free to opine in the comment section. Guys, my channel here is stomped on pretty hard. There are many other channels that talk about the exact same content, but they get like 10 times more views. Even our channel's way smaller. But I think the reason is this. I got one distinguishing difference. I've set up websites telling you what you can do to take care of yourself. Would it be the Freedom Restoration Foundation? And yeah, I pay for that. And one of my associates here, Wise Al, paid deeply out of her pocket to set up the Survival Tribe Network website, survivaltribenetwork.org. Check them out, guys. This is important. And I think that's what distinguishes us from the other channels. And that's probably why we're shadow banned so much here. But there are algorithms, and you can make the algorithms work for you. We just got to work harder on our side. So do me a favor, share my videos, hit like, and make a comment below. Comment somebody else's comment. Like a good comment. If you see a good comment, like it. If you agree with it. If you agree with me or not. You know, I'm not saying you got to agree with me. I'm the guy who talks about rose-colored glasses, you know, trying to understand the other side. That means you got to agree. Don't mean you got to agree with them. But hey, I'm just talking about how to understand. I did a video on that. You can't reach out to the other side and try to communicate with them and hope to convince them of anything different if you don't understand them first. Who knows? Put on when you take the rose-colored glasses off, you might discover you was wrong. But I know one thing. I am going to stand for my, you know, for those rights in the Bill of Rights, and you know, I believe that we have these rights, and that it's illegal for them to be taken. Oops. You know, through congressional action. You know, the thing is that there is spelled out methodology in the Constitution to change the Constitution. And it's not by legislative action, and it's not by an executive order, a decree. No, a fiat. No, that's not how it's supposed to work. It's, the Constitution requires a broad consensus in this country to change the Constitution, more than majority. And there can also be a states convention. That's another way to do it. But you got to have 2/3 of the state ratify a constitutional amendment. So how is that a law passed by Congress? How is that something a bureaucrat, an unelected bureaucrat, decides and tries to make you do? You see what I'm saying? This is why a lot of us are tired of the federal government being so big. Okay, I said I was done with. I could go on and on. If I go on too much, I won't be here anymore. Yeah, my channel will be go poof. And I don't want that, because, you know, guys, I'm trying to bring you good information about how to survive radiation events. Check out, I got a whole playlist on that, and how to garden, how to raise worms. So yeah, so when I went off on this prepping thing, I lost a lot of my worm customers, because there's people on both sides of the spectrum here, guys. And I got good friends and family on both sides. I got, you know, very close family on both sides, okay? I believe in freedom. First and foremost, let me explain that. I believe in freedom very much. I've done a lot of videos on that topic. Yeah, maybe that's also my problem. Yeah. Okay, so some of those powers that be probably love me so much. Anyway, guys, I'm ready. Y'all take care. God bless. And share these videos, please. And goodbye.